To be in China today with a massive show of force and a military parade in Beijing, showing off the country's hypersonic missiles, the drones, the fighter jets, and a lot more. President Xi Jinping hosted his Russian and North Korean counterparts for the grand event. And President Trump, well, he sort of sent his regards, writing on Truth Social last night. May President Xi and the wonderful people of China have a great and lasting day of celebration. Please give my warmest regards to Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un as you conspire against the United States of America. Boy, did that take a turn. Joining us now, President Emeritus of the Council on Foreign Relations and author of the weekly Substack newsletter, which you should read, Home and Away, Richard Haass. All right. Show of force.
Before that, can I say one thing?
Yeah.
That might have been the funniest thing that Donald Trump has ever written.
Truth Social, yeah. Tell me why.
Because it had a little bit of truth, because we knew they were conspiring against the United States. The idea he'd call them out on it.
Yeah.
Gotta like it.
Started with some pleasantries.
Yes, I thought it was actually a nice dig. I know what you're up to, and I'm watching you.
May you have a wonderful time plotting my demise. Hey, so it really was a show.
Absolutely.
How much of it was a show, and how much of it was something that we should genuinely be concerned about?
First half, it was a show, lots of audiences, domestic. China has certain economic struggles and all that, feeding into nationalism. Show internationally, China, Russia, North Korea, also had Iran. Earlier you had India. It's a real sense that...
India is really interesting.
Yeah, and that's a separate conversation, but a strategic setback for us, which we brought about. India has been, should be, an important cornerstone of this coalition we build to push back against China. So I think it was also a bit of a statement of independence. The idea the Chinese are a little bit feeling their oats with and the Russians are as well.
Can they, this alliance of Kim Jong-un, Vladimir Putin, Xi, Modi, can they really be a counterweight or a real competitor to the Western alliance?
To some extent, they are. They're holding their own in Ukraine. We'll see what happens in other parts of the world. Still a world that's dominated by the dollar. I think the biggest question is how we react to it beyond true social posts. The real question is, okay, do we look at what we're doing in American foreign policy and say, what brought this about? What do we have to do to counter it? And this, to me, would argue, for example, why don't we strengthen our alliance system again? That used to be the great comparative advantage of American foreign policy. Maybe we have to think about the strategic consequences and not just the economic consequences of tariffs. It would basically force a rethink of the Trump foreign policy. I'm not sure we're open to it.
So I joined this great crew called the Council on Foreign Relations, and with it I get Foreign Affairs magazine. And there was a compelling and terrifying cover story about the weaponized economy. And I wonder if people in the administration would read that and see this and take those together and maybe rethink the way that we're treating our own allies, the way that we're dealing with China, the way that we're dealing with India, and think about a reset.
That's what it would take. It would be a reset. It would mean treating allies as partners. And a bigger issue would probably be putting strategic concerns before economic. The big departure of Donald Trump's foreign policy, you may hate it, you may love it, is that economics have come first. Every other president said, look, we're not worried about economics. They'll take care of themselves. If we can maintain our alliances, if we can maintain order in the world, the U.S. economy will do just fine. We can outcompete anybody. This is the first president who said, I'm not going to worry so much about the geopolitics. I'm going to focus on the economy and on measures such as trade. It's very different, not one I necessarily endorse, to say the least, but it's a very different approach to the world.
Do you get the sense that the reaction from this, maybe his advisors is different, but from this president is less maybe a reset and more, how do I get invited next year?
I hadn't thought about that, possibly. Because, again, he doesn't begin from a premise that adversaries are here and friends are here. I think he treats them both differently. Adversaries are people that often, I would say, other authoritarians he feels pretty comfortable with.
He thinks it seems he likes them more.
For example, Vladimir Putin, the Alaska summit, and allies he often has issues with.
Treats them like vassals.
Well, certainly has trouble with them. So, yeah, the idea that he would be part of it, and indeed it's probably part of a larger thing. People look at his foreign policy, remember the Greenland, Panama stuff and so forth. It looks a little bit like spheres of influence. We have a free hand in this part of the world, even if people in this part of the world may push back. Russia has something of a free hand in Europe and Ukraine, and China has a free hand potentially with Taiwan and the South China Sea. Indeed, the biggest question, as I still watch foreign policy after 8 months, is what is this president's intentions in Asia? What is his notion of a deal with China? What's in it for us other than trade? What's in it for China?
And what moves does he make beyond trade? Richard Haass, always good to have you. Thank you for joining us today. Welcome back to The Grind.